I understand that this was partially funded by an Indiegogo campaign, is that correct?
Correct. Almost $80,000 starting last summer, and we had several announcements on the internet and many perks that provided some of our funding, almost 10% of our budget.
Now, I've heard a crowdsourcing campaign like that is almost just as stressful as creating an actual movie. Do you find the same thing?
Very much so, but I'm going to let Aaron take over on that. Aaron.
The campaign was very stressful, but also very encouraging because it allowed us to kind of reconnect with the pre-existing fan base that we had already generated with the web series that we did with FearNet in 2009. So when they say that the journey is everything, that campaign really proved we had a fan base that really wanted to see more. So it was very encouraging, motivated us to get this movie off the ground.
Now, since it is based on the FearNet TV show, can you talk a little bit about how it transformed from that web series to where it is right now?
The director, Rob Hall, who also did the web series, he and I co-wrote the movie, taking it to the next level by bringing in the franchise horror creature that we were talking about for quite some time, the name Black, which is the Andover duplicate that walks around in the last 15-20 minutes of the movie. So that's primarily what we did. We brought in that creature, fear incarnate. Rob and I had many conversations about that, and we were lucky enough to have a special effects gurus, Bob Kurtzman, Steve Johnson, come on board to make that a reality.
Steve? Nope, not yet. We'll get him in a sec. So I'll save my effects questions. So let me head down to Corey here. So can you talk a little bit about how you got attached to the project and what it was like working on it?
Well, I could spend like 20 minutes talking about my mustache.
That was a sweet stash. It really was.
It's pretty sweet. You know, when they said rapey, I went for it. Yeah, I totally committed to the rapey vibe. As my first movie, I couldn't ask for better people to work with. You know, and great cast to work with, great people on set, great producers. I mean, the crew. Yeah. We put our heads down and we made a good movie, and it was a short shoot. The weather was garbage. And I think we all caught hepatitis in that place. So it was, but we pulled it through, and it was cool to see it finally on the big screen.
Now, Felisha and Cleopatra, I know that you guys really had to throw yourself into roles. These were intense. Can you talk a little bit about how you developed them and some of the crazy stuff you had to do on screen?
Well, slicing open a disgusting wound is probably the first thing that comes to mind, which our amazing special effects makeup artist brought that to life, and I think Rob Hall also had a hand in that, and that was fun. We had, to Corey's point, we had a lot of fun on set, so I think really getting to know each other and, really developing those characters through conversation and building those relationships, I think really added to that. And as you can see from the film, it's intense, but there's a lot of comedic moments throughout the movie, which really add to it, and I think make it a little more real with such a heavy pressure situation.
All right, who took my chair? Who took my chair?
I got down here.
I got boys here. Come on, let's talk about this movie.
Sit next to Bob.
There's only one chair.
I got it doing tonight.
Thank you.
Come on, God.
All right, yeah.
We're just like constantly.
He's my house. I just met him. They're good.
So, we enjoyed the film. I loved it. This is the audience we're working toward right here. Monstership. These guys are responsible for it right here. Oh, you guys, two guys.
Hey, thanks for being here.
Come on, boys. Then tell them you love the movie. You didn't even see it.
You guys need to see a movie.
Continue. So, I was playing Fiona's best friend, Fiona Druth, and we were born a day apart, so that was kind of easy to do. We got along really well. We get along really well now, and she was really great to work with. Megan was a really fun character. My favorite part was scratching all the skin off my back and digging into those holes there. That was pretty cool.
You're very good at it.
Thank you. And to prepare for that, I just went into a dark room for 30 minutes and cried. And there you have it. Wow.
Now, let's talk to our effects masters down here. Bob and Steve, could you talk a little bit about a merge of digital and practical and how the two kind of came to have a big marriage on screen?
Yes, it was. Bob,
Yeah, thank you.
take it.
Well, here's what's cool. Shut up.
Give me that. Bob had nothing to do with it.
I had nothing. To do
Nothing.
with it.
These guys over here did the effects. Will you give them the mic? Come on, Bob.
No, you know what was cool? First off, I haven't worked with Steve forever, but I've known him forever. And
It's a tragedy.
And then Steve, they call me and they go, hey, we're going to make this movie in Ohio. And of course, my studio's in Ohio, where I grew up, because I moved out of LA, which I hate, and I moved back to Ohio. And
These people all live in Los Angeles. That's
I know, but that's no, I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean it in a good way. They go, hey, we're gonna make this movie in Ohio. We're and here's the other thing. Rob Hall, years ago, back in what, the early '90s or whatever. Rob used to work with us at my studio, and then went on to become a director. And then he goes, hey, I'm making this movie in Ohio. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Hey, I got my studio in Ohio. And he goes, oh, by the way, and Steve's going to be building all this stuff for us. And we're working. Oh, Steve, cool. Okay, so now we're all hanging out here.
Give me the fucking mic.
Yeah, shut up.
Okay, all I'd like to say here is to my illustrious pal here, my colleague, I'd like to talk about the film itself. The film is really, really good. Why am I hearing chuckles? It's about fear. It's about the darkness that we all have inside of ourselves. And I really truly mean this. It is an amazing story. It comes from a deep, dark place inside of all of our minds. There's not a person here, not a person here that cannot connect with this. It is a really, really, really cool thing. And so yeah, when Rob called me up, and I haven't done that for a long time, it's been 8 years. And I thought, well, this would be really fun to get back to Rob. He's a good friend. It's been years since I've done a few things, but okay, wow, I read the script and I thought, wow, that is just a great story because it truly connects with all of you guys. Who does it not connect with? The fact that fear, just you, you guys can go fuck yourselves.
So we had a really good time on this film.
You might be speaking of
kind of a pain in the ass. No, you know what? Here's what's interesting. No matter what, you're doing a makeup, you're working, and then suddenly the director has to leave set just to come stick his hands into the effects. It doesn't matter.
Or sometimes his cock. Sometimes
no matter what, you're doing a makeup, and then suddenly the director shows up. This only happens. It only happens when you're working with a director, effects guy. And because I do it too, because I do it when I'm directing. And suddenly he just shows up and he's like, grabs a brush and he's like, doing stuff. So, but that happens every time you work with a director who's an effects guy.
Yeah, well, thank God he's not actually here, or he would kill you.
Yeah, he'd probably get all that shit. But that's what's funny about it. It is cool.
We have a limited amount of time, so I'm going to open it up to audience questions to make sure that you guys can get some of your questions in. So raise your hand if you have a question for our gang up here. Anyone? Yes, right there.
What questions for Corey?
Yeah!
After the success of your first movie, would this be the start off of a bit of a film career, as well as music, of course?
Is this kind of a start of a film career for Corey?
No.
Obviously.
If any of you have noticed, none of us really saw Corey Taylor, a.k.a. Bauer, die.
Save me for the fucking sequel?
So are you going to
Howard lives! Good shit! All right, I feel better now.
Yes, other questions.
So
sir back there.
Fuck.
Is it true Steve Johnson's coming out with a book?
Is it true Steve Johnson is coming out with a book?
Come on, tell him. Really? Tell him. Come on.
It stars Cortex.
You're such an asshole.
It's a tell-all. I hope you don't mind. It's going to be rough for both of us.
Go ahead, please.
No, I am. Will you fucking shut up? Somebody make up a better question than that. I want to go back to the point of the movie. Did you guys not get it? Seriously, it was a wonderful point. There's a wonderful story behind this film. Wonderful acting. I really kind of have a boner for the Brad Dourif chick girl. Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry.
Yes, any other questions from the audience?
I have a question.
Yes.
I remember right now, so
American Idol.
what made you go into horror film stores? Why not like possessed stores?
Wait a minute, Mark, can you help me out here?
Okay, we have one.